I went over there. Okay, so congratulations to a subscriber with a subscriber with a funny
Thanks.
name, 5438TC. So following the stream since August 12th of last year. So that's awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on your CD key. Contact Kitty the Neko in chat to get your key. Anyways, we are of course casting the TING Korean qualifiers, and once again, I remind everybody, TING is a U.S. mobile phone service. They're looking to save you some cash on your phone bills, and you can check out bttv.ting.com to get $25 in credit and try out their service. Some people have kind of already figured it out. They can try it out for really cheap. You essentially can try it for free if you do it correctly, guys. So check it out. And of course, that's how you let them know you came from watching this tournament and that their money is well spent in esports. StarCraft hype! But game number 2, and in the top left side of the map, playing for Jin Air, he's actually behind in the series. It's Cure. Double gas opening.
In the bottom left, with a fairly quick nexus, it is the red Protoss Patience.
There's actually going to be scouting that for Patience is actually really important.
Oh yeah, this is how he got killed last time. It was
Yep.
on Arena too.
Yeah, that was. So, regardless of whether this leads to faster Hellions or if this is going to be like a Starport build, a Liberator, Banshee, or anything, like it really could be anything with these double gases. Patience knows you can't play greedy. So what's kind of annoying is, okay, obviously you can't read into like direct counters. You can't get the perfect response to this, but just having units out is going to be a pretty big influence on the game. Pylons are well positioned as well for that overcharge to come later. Cure's going to have to work at this. But I mean, to one base anything is always a little bit risky. But usually if a one base opener pays off, it will get you ahead a very considerable amount.
So Patience died to a single Hellion the last time we saw him on Arena versus a Terran in a qualifying match. But it's not Hellions for Cure. It actually looks to be a Cyclone Liberator combo, which is what we saw from, I think, like a live or someone earlier on today. Oh, it actually is a tank. I didn't want to say tank because, well, tank drop.
I'm not a fan of tank drops at all, to be honest.
I think he's going to try and do is abuse that little positioning that, you always abuse as a Terran, whether it's versus Zerg, another Terran, or sometimes versus Protoss, which is that ledge underneath their natural. If it's just a tank drop like harassments, that is never done very well with only one tank. And it's probably going to be followed up with something, a little different, a little bit heavy hitting.
Oh, nice
Reaper?
No, nice to be. I don't even know where it died at. Okay, I guess it was scouting.
In the main. It actually got really far into the main base, so nicely done. But it is a second tank, and it is going to be that direct push. The medevac is going to be used to heal, obviously, but also to make sure that the... Oh, nice pickup. That tank does not get, targeted down, basically. Now, there's no immortals, which would be the obvious answer, but... the robo is done, and he could try and get one if he had the money. There we go.
This is harrowing, I think, to say the least. I mean, the Immortal, when it comes out, isn't even like an automatic hard counter. As we all know, it no longer has the hardened shield, so it could be killed pretty easily, depending on how things go. Now, Pylon buying a little bit of time. I don't know if it'll buy enough time.
Other one's gonna go down too. Oh, targeting the Stalkers right now. There is that Liberator follow-up that could either help the main push or go into the back while Patience is distracted.
I like this attempt with the Adepts to go across the map and counter. That's actually a really smart, clever idea, but his natural base is in a lot of trouble. Let's not forget, though, for Patience, as long as he doesn't lose too many probes, this won't be too bad no matter how this goes. But if he dedicates too much to defending this base and he bleeds out too many probes, then this is not going to be worth it for him. In fact, that Liberator is going to make sure the Immortal can't come down this ramp, but I feel like if Patience had done a Stargate opener, this could have been such an easier defense.
Yeah, probably. Pick up the tank, start targeting that medevac, and of course help out with the Liberator. But the Nexus goes down, and as you said, as long as he didn't lose too many probes, it could still be okay, but he has to actually be able to break out first and clean up the army, which is, might not be possible going down a ramp versus two tanks.
Yeah, easier said than done. Two Immortals have got the damage if they could get in range of those tanks, but getting zoned out here at the top of the ramp, and Barrier, it is off cooldown for both of them.
That's a lot of Adepts he just phased through. Kier saw it, too. What does he have at home? He has Marines and two tanks. Okay, the Adepts shouldn't go for the counter, but they can do a sandwich, which might help. Just a tank sandwich. Mm-mm.
Yum.
Yum. They're going to catch the reinforcements instead. That is only half his reinforcements. I was not lying when I said he had 2 tanks. Just there's one in the main. What? Okay.
Trying to micro the adept back wasn't going to work. Of course, the depots aren't going to get broken either. So, I mean, Cure's really not in a huge danger from this adept counterattack setup. If there's a warp prism or something, maybe, sure, but he's not getting anywhere out of his main is the problem. And it's not to his fault. This is... For Cure, this was meant to abuse and take advantage of patience, and it has so far. The Warp Prism is going to be a really interesting aspect to add into this, as he flies it across the map. That'll take care of any tanks at home, and actually deal with small amounts of Marines. And if that wall opens up, boom. That's where the Adepts just fly in and do damage.
Yeah. And it's so odd to have sent his half his army out. That could have been 3 tanks and
he doesn't have barrier and autocast. Oh my god.
Well, that was almost...
That was very scary. He does actually take
devastating.
care of the tank, though. Now the Adepts can certainly shell away at the Marines. The micro on the Immortals is actually fan-freaking-tastic. If he breaks that wall, Cure's going to be in trouble. Cure's setup is nice, but he can't push into the main. The same way Patience can't push out, he can't push in. And Patience is the only one with the counterattack. So this brings one of the tanks back home. Liberator gets sieged up. Stalker's barely alive. Got to get that one more shot. New Liberator comes in, but the Immortals are taken care of. And this is well defended out of Cure.
Huh.
Patience perhaps could have taken advantage of this time to break that ramp while this went on.
Yeah, maybe. Unfortunately, now that Cure has defended the push and gotten the command center up, Orbital's turning in right now, but it's not looking so great for Patience. His time to come back is kind of just shrinking, and he will have to definitely take out the army for Cure.
I would have loved if he did what he did with Beyond, sneak a probe out with a Warp Prism and just go take a gold base instead, but use the Immortal to soak some hits from the Liberator. Stalker's coming from behind, does finally clean this up.
Yeah, but not at the greatest, attack though. Like that may just be enough. Blink is on the way. It's only halfway done though, and Curastill's not taking the actual natural, so he still has that ramp to his advantage. So I'm not sure. Patience is very all in with this attack. It has to work, or it has to contain Cure for a long time.
He's gonna have to work with these Liberators coming across the map. Put on Overcharge, but actually hold on, I take that back, so he'll be fine.
Nope.
I was gonna just remark though, really quick. He's with Cure having muled the main for so much of this. If Patience actually does contain, that will probably be better. Like those minerals for Cure are gonna run out pretty quick.
Yeah, he'd have to contain for quite some time though, and I don't think he has the army anymore. Not without Immortals. There's another tank. There you go. Leapfrog forward. Patience does start his Nexus and is getting a Dark Shrine.
Ooh, I like the Dark Shrine touch actually quite a bit.
Yeah, they're both going to be on kind of even mining in their main. But of course, Cure, once his main is mined out, that's just now a 3rd command center. Tearing things.
This is shaping up to be a very strange game in order. That's for certain. But Cure, his opening, it did get him ahead in this game. The question is like,
yeah,
does it win him the game? Now the Adepts unloading here are going to be able to soak some hits, and they're going to target fire a lot of these SCVs down. But this army out of Patience, I don't know about blinking in like that.
Well, he saw a single tank and thought maybe it was an opportunity. But yeah, Cure is definitely taking the lead, and I think all things go well, should win. The Warp Prism, the Dark Shrine, however, could change things up. There is a missile turret at the front and a missile turret in the main now too. He didn't scout the Dark Shrine, but I think it's just one of those things that if Protoss falls behind, what are they going to do? Also helps with the Warp Prism. He might want to target the missile turret, actually.
Maybe,
just get the
but
DTs in here.
I feel like if you do that, that definitely lets your opponent know, like, okay, why the fuck was he focusing that down?
That's a little weird.
You get some SCV kills with this, but obviously not a devastating amount. Warp Prism actually goes down to the Liberator, unfortunately. And, the Liberator barely gets out of there alive. Double unfortunate. DT is just kind of chilling out here, waiting for the opportunity. I think he knows that Cure's going to counterattack right after a move like that, and now he's just going to go in when there's no defense. Even if there is a turret, who the hell cares? No one's going to be there to shoot. Problem is, Patience is left defenseless at home at the same time. He really doesn't have a lot to stop this push.
I don't know if he saw that DT with that scan. Otherwise, you know, he won't be banking scans.
Kills
and
the
he
turret.
needs them
Oh!
offensively and now defensively.
Scans offensively instead of defensively. He's got, what, one scan almost ready to go in the main? But the Marines are going to kill a lot of these.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Now, it's once again up back to one base mining, and they're both mined out on one base.
Yeah.
Takes the fight, but doesn't realize DT's there. There you go.
Yeah, focuses down the Liberator with the Stalker. Stalkers can, of course, out micro this Marines pretty easily. Tanks coming back to the front line, trigger the shield on that Immortal pretty quickly. It was really cool, actually. We didn't notice this earlier, but Patience having disabled the autocast on the Immortals, those first two earlier on, it was risky, but it was cool. You don't see a lot of Protoss players actually do that. He's going to go for the break, but GG gets called.
GG.
Sure, it was scrappy, but he ties up this series 1-1. We also got a new sub during that game. Sorry for the lack of a shout-out, but he was one base, man. Things were going down. So thank you, Copo Ross. Oh, it's like Kappa Ross, but Copo Ross? Was it, you ever hear that song from Raffi? It's like, I like to eat apples and bananas, but each time the verse changes with different vowels, so apples and bananas and ooples and banunus. No?
Nope.
Okay, well, kind of reminds me of that, and Copa Ross, Kappa Ross, Keepa Ross, whatever. Thank you so much for subscribing.
What even is that? Like, who is the person you referenced? Let's start
Rafi?
things off.
You don't know
What?
Rafi? Are you serious?
What is that?
Oh my god. There's so many things I feel like you didn't know Lamb Chop's play along. You don't know Rafi, man. Like, either I am like I know I'm older than you, but I can't. I'm not that much older than you, man. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like it's an age/Canadian.
He was like,
thing?
no, he was like a singer, dude, for like kids shows and shit. Hell, his songs are like hella catchy.
Okay, the kids shows that I was watching was like Power Rangers, and
Right? Same.
not like sing-alongs, like, you know, not like Blues Clues and stuff.
Yo, first off, Blues Clues was legit. Don't even like. Steve was
Okay.
amazing.
Calm down.
Blues Clues, Blues Clues.
Oh god.
All right, we're tied up on 1, and by the way, we're getting really close to that 800 sub mark with Copa Ross having just subscribed. We're at 794 subscribers. Ooh,
Nice.
getting so close to that 800 mark. But it is tied up 1 apiece. We're going into game number 3. Spawning here in the top right side of the map. I don't think he'll get it with another one-base build, but we'll see if he tries. It's gonna be Cure.
The bottom left as the red Protoss. He's dead. Pixel's Patience.
So this is, of course, the winner's bracket still for anyone who may just recently be joining us, and it is a qualifying match. The winner of this will secure his spot into the group stages. But we do have about 2 best-of-3s left after this. So the loser of this is going to drop down to play against Trap, and we're going to cast that. And the winner of that will play the winner of Seed versus Stylish, aka Alive, for that very last spot.
Yep. That's how it's gonna play out.
Actually, ooh, the bottom half of the bracket could all be like TvP. At least for the semifinals.
Let's see how this game goes. Now, if Kira had done another 2-base attack, or sorry, 1-base attack, 2-base would be normal, 1-base build, then I wouldn't have been so surprised. Patience, if he's asking around, he knows that Patience has fallen to 1-base before. After that last game, it was definitely not a stomp. It was definitely not like a Patience is really bad versus 1-base, but it was an eventual win. I would have almost liked to have seen it, just because it also makes for really interesting matches. But it is just that single Reaper. The command center goes down. The probe scouts all of this too.
There's Zombie Grub.
Yeah. The SCV gets the first scout though and sees nothing out of the ordinary himself. Oh, well, there's something out of the ordinary. Hey.
Okay, so I'm not sure what type of proxy this will be. We've actually been seeing a surprising amount of proxy dark shrines becoming popular. I'm imagining it's a Stargate, but regardless of whatever Patience decides to go for, getting aggressive into Cure's face, it almost feels like revenge more than like strategic victory.
A little bit. It is that Stargate. This is definitely a place you won't be scouting too quickly as a Terran, whereas just a bit north has been where a lot of proxies have been going down, and maybe Cure would have checked that, especially as the Reaper scouts the main and sees, well, not what you would really expect. I mean, he's already scouting the entire left side. I guess the SCV scout told him all he needed to know. The lack of the mothership cores is, definitely an indicator. So scouting every which way. I'm really surprised he's scouting over to the left, though. That's not usually where we see stargates. Maybe the Dark Shrine, like you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the fact that he's scouting, but we're on a stream delay, so we got to go back to this. People bring up Rafi. Have you never heard the song Banana Phone?
I have, yes.
Okay, Rafi sings that. Okay, ring, 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 ring. Banana
Gotcha.
phone.
You know how I know Banana Phone? Not through the TV.
How do you know
that much?
I'm actually curious. How do you know Banana Phone?
Just the internet, like me,
That's true. I guess
friends do it in middle school, like.
It did become a lot more popular through that than anything else. But the thing I always hated, like, when you think about a lot of these kids songs, or like I guess the singers for kids, better way to phrase that, like Andy from Parks and Rec and stuff. None of that music is necessarily good, but it's all super catchy. Like you could definitely catch yourself like humming it or singing it like later on.
I have never caught myself singing a tune from like.
Really, you've never banana phoned? Just like.
No, not randomly. No, like maybe if someone talks about bananas and phones.
So speaking of which,
we had an entire conversation about bananas, and never once did that pop up in my head.
Speaking of which, like I mean, there's just no segue for bananas and phones.
Well, someone, there's always that joke where you put a banana up to your, like, it's like, no, never mind.
Hey, we got another new sub, by the way. Quick shout outs go to TIZG. TYZC, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, good sir. Third base from Patience with these double oracles. Now, of course, this got scouted by that SCV. Cure was diligent in making sure he did find this. There's Marines aplenty to deal with this. He's put, oh, that's interesting. This wall off between the main and the natural is actually kind of more. Oh, this isn't gonna go well.
He did not see the Marines on the left side.
No, he got flanked there quite a bit. I like this wall, though. It's kind of cool. We've been seeing this more and more to stop adepts so they can't transfer around. But these are usually at the top of the ramp, not the bottom.
Yeah, that is interesting. We have Blink as the follow-up, so nothing to do with the adepts. Third base comes down pretty quickly. These SCV scouts have been pretty baller.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Cheers, nailing it. Kind of funny to watch that Oracle, by the way, because if this one had died instead of the other, he wouldn't have had the energy to Revelation on the way out. That's kind of neat. Gives him some vision of what's going on. As I think he's gonna trinket. I'm sorry, dude. You can't pull off the SCV scouts that Cure's been pulling off. Okay, like
especially when you go to the rocks. Good try though.
I mean, he's probably setting up a pylon, but still.
Well, still, like that pylon is on near the rocks instead of to the right side where, the fourth, is usually the fifth base is where we see pylons usually. Cure is going to see stalkers come forward like this and be like a little suspicious. Like, what are they doing over here?
A pretty important scout out of Patience just now. I don't want to break the graphs by checking, but he went to the main to see if there was a third, and there's not. And now he knows that this is like a two-base build out of Terran. He can't get too crazy with what he wants to do.
Yeah, we'll have to retreat. He's still bothering at the gateway, though. In proxy, he uses the middle of the map.
Hey, picks up a medevac. That's nice.
Very, very nice. Of course, he's stuck there for a little. Did he just kill that?
I didn't know you could even target those.
Wait, wasn't it a clean? No, it's those things.
Yeah, it's the spotlights.
What?
I did not know those were clickable doodads. Like, okay. Sorry, we're distracted. Over here, we got a big attack coming to the natural or third base. No second overcharge goes off. These probes are probably dead. He's warping in 1 or 2 units at a time. That's not going to cut it. Patience is completely caught off guard by this. He was so focused on what was going on in the middle of the map and warping in elsewhere, didn't even realize there's 13 probes in the mothership core. Oh boy.
Very nice for Cure. Now he has to go back home with whatever army is left over and defend against what is going to be a very big Blink Stalker attack. It's also going to be reinforced with Resident Enclaves on Adepts. Now again, the proxy is not so close. Like, it does suck that he still has to walk some ways to get over here, but that is a very large Protoss army. Cure does have an upgrade lead, however, is starting to stack up those medevacs, and will always have the possibility of pulling SEVs now that he's killed so many probes. There's that blink into the main, and that is something that Cure was not expecting.
This is going to be tough on a Patience. He doesn't have upgrades on his side. Blink is really the only thing he's got going. Blink's into 2 Widowmines, though. That's going to sting. However, the Widowmines go off on terrible Stalker targets. So as he backs away, the army supply's still not looking too bad just yet.
Well, it was even before. In fact, a little bit in favor of Patience, as now it's down below. He's going to blink up into the main, though. with the shift click if he wants to do that.
The main, because he
The main
likes
main.
to do that.
He likes Kier. But that is one too many stalkers, but that's okay as long as he's getting the SCVs and as long as they get out, and they do.
Yeah.
He
Takes
breaks down the rocks. Widowmine's hoping to find him out of position yet again.
The longer this
Quite.
goes on, the better it gets for Cure, though. His production's going to be just fantastic, and Widowmines are going to constantly be reused over and over again. Yes, there's detection through this revelation, but it's still hard to actually get those hits, those shots. So Patience poking in here looks a little bit scary, looks a little bit dangerous. The Adepts have resonating glaives, but again, this is so brute force out of Patience. Scan on the other side of the map to see what's going on. Rage Kitty subs in the middle. The heat of battle. Widowmine shot gets dodged. Nice blink away out of Patience. More and more Adepts come in. He wants this big transfer. But oh, it's a Widowmine. That's going to soak up all the shields from the Adepts. Leave them with a little bit of health.
There's so many Widowmines. Kier's about to have 1-1 instead of just a single upgrade, and Patience hasn't actually remade too many probes.
No, he's not been consistently producing them while this fight went on either. Blinks to the side. I'm not sure about that blink. The Adepts do decide to come into the fight. He's going to have to make sure he doesn't take these Widowmine hits. It's the worst part of this. With the Oracle having been picked off, gone, there's no detection. Now he's just going to walk all these bad boys through that mineral line. But it's more Widowmines where that came from. Zombie grab for them, in fact. That's going to kill Patience. GG.
GG. Terran.
Terran. Cure will join the ranks of the qualified players for this tournament. That makes 4 Terran for the Korean region.
Oh, God.